Hey everyone, this is Jason Long with JH Media Group, and today we're going to be talking about the basics of funnels. And what I mean by this is not like the funnel that you use to pour oil into your car or cook food or I don't know, any other funnel. What I'm talking about here are sales funnels and how these things work. And I really in particular want to share with you guys like a paradigm shift that I had when I was learning marketing and learning about how funnels work. I'm sure you've heard the term before. You've heard of sales funnel. You've heard a little bit about how it works, or maybe you've heard a lot about how it works. But today I'm going to break down the pieces of these things, what most people think of when they think of a sales funnel, and what you can do with a sales funnel. And in particular, there are projects I've worked on that have had gigantic results from this, and there are friends of mine who've worked on projects that have really, truly enormous results from this kind of work that I'm going to teach you right now. So to the extent of taking a sales funnel that was doing $10,000 per month up to $60,000 per month just with a few changes. Now you can imagine you're like, oh geez, that's a big difference, because it is. It's a huge difference. It can't be that small of a change. And I'll tell you, overall, it is actually some work and a lot of analysis, but the actual changes are not actually that small. Not actually that big. So let's take a look. Let's see what we've got. All right, here we go. All right, basics of sales funnels. Once again, this was a paradigm shift for me. We talked about projects or teams I've worked with going from 10K per month to 60K per month with only making changes to their sales funnel, not changing the product, not changing the messaging, just keeping people in the funnel. And this is really important because you got to think about the cost of acquiring new users when you're thinking about sales funnels. How much money does it cost for you to bring one new person to your website? And then what is the comparison of that cost versus the cost of keeping them engaged in what you're doing? And almost all the time, the cost of bringing somebody to your website who's an interested buyer is substantially greater than the amount of just keeping them interested in what you're doing. So this is not just about improving your overall acquisition and conversion rate. This is also about saving money in acquisition. So all right, so let's take a look. What's next? You probably saw this if you studied marketing in school, or if you're a marketer at all, you've probably seen this chart. This is what most people think of as a sales funnel. This goes from awareness to interest to consideration, evaluation, decision, purchase. What does that one say? Repeat, loyalty, and advocacy. And what this means first is that somebody has to be aware that there is a problem and that they have this problem. Once they're aware of this, then they can go look for something. Then they have an interest. They're like searching the web for it. They're making phone calls. They're looking for a solution. Once they have one or more solutions, then they're considering. Then they're like, okay, am I going to use this one? Am I going to use this one? Which of these things is better? Next, in some cases, they'll evaluate. They'll actually go and do a demo of your product or your system, or they'll ask questions. They'll go and they'll ask other people what they think. They'll try the thing out, etc. Then it's going to come time for a decision. So they're going to pick this item, some other item, or no item at all. Next, you've got the purchase. So they're going to actually pay you for the money. Decision, purchase, in a lot of cases is kind of the same thing, but it happens at the same time, but it is a different process. And you got to ask yourself, how many people actually add things to their cart and then never check out? That's the difference between that decision, like I'm adding things, yeah, I'm ready to go, and then actually making that purchase and giving people money for it. It's a big difference. How many times have you just added things to your cart and dropped off? Probably a lot, because because this happens all the time. One of the best things you can do in e-commerce is have abandoned cart emails that send people reminders that they have things in their cart and ask them if they want to check out. You can increase your sales by so much by doing that. All right, and then what do we got? Repeat. So after somebody's purchased something, then they're going to come back and do it again, or you want them to do it again. This, depending upon what the thing is, sometimes like if you're selling them a subscription, to something, then they're going to auto repeat, and it's a little bit different of a process. But if they're buying, like, I don't know, a lawnmower, you want them to come back later and buy the lawnmower again. Sometimes this comes after the next two items, loyalty and advocacy. So once they bought something, then if you continue to work with them and you have a great product, or sometimes even if you don't, you can make them loyal, meaning they're going to keep coming back to you time and time again. And then finally, the highest level in this funnel is advocacy. And advocacy means they're going to start recommending your product or your service to other people. And as you can see, like, advocacy then leads to having more awareness. So it increases the size of that top level funnel, because now you have more people that are aware they have this problem because somebody's out there telling them about it. You've created a brand ambassador at the highest, at the best case of this funnel. And people think of this as like, we've got this big thing at the top, and then it kind of slowly grows smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't look like that. This is a great concept. This is a great idea, but that's not the way it works. What it actually looks like is this. This is what it looks like. It's really just a bucket dropping water, a bucket that's been shot up with BBs that's just dropping water all over the place. It's just leaking everywhere. So this is like, imagine that water is your money pouring out, because you put a ton of money to drive people to your website, or you put out there a ton of money to drive people to your product or your store or whatever. And every time somebody comes out of this funnel, that's just money. That's just money you are wasting left and right. And it happens just like this. You are dropping people off all the time, most businesses. So that's how it happens right now. That's the basis of things. Let's take a look at what most people think of when they think of a sales funnel. And then we're going to get into what it could be, what it should be for your business. All right, here we go. So this is what most people think of. They think about, oh, you know what? My screen's not showing properly. Oh, let me see if I can. Oh yeah, that is proper. Okay, never mind. This is what they think of. They think about the first entry point. Then they think that somebody's going to come to their homepage, and then you're going to call, or they're going to send them a contact, and then we're going to send them some emails, and maybe we're going to have a meeting, and then we're going to have we're going to send them a proposal, and they're going to buy something. And this is one example. There's, if you're selling a product online, it's going to be a different kind of funnel. If you're selling a course or an information product online, it's going to be a different kind of product. If you're selling plumbing services, maybe most people think it looks something like this. So this is the way they think about it. Now let's kind of start to break it down. So awareness, on the far left hand side, you get awareness, and a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't even know how they're aware of me. Like, they have a problem, they have a plumbing problem, so they're looking for a plumber. There's your awareness. But if they're not, let's say that it's a product that nobody really knows about. They don't know that this is a problem for them. They're trying to find this solution. Where is the awareness? That's a question for you. Like, are they searching for it on Google? Or how are they coming to it? There's a lot of ways that people come to the awareness, so I'm not going to address that yet. Interest, we're just going to start. Sometimes, by the way, actually under awareness, it's just a search. People are searching at the word, and that's where they're finding the awareness. But in many cases, it's interest. If they're using buying keywords, like the best blah, blah, blah in name of town. So the best cardiologist in Atlanta. That's going to be, they already have awareness, and they're searching for something. They're at the interest level. So what people think of is they go from this interest level to consideration. So right here in consideration, and then people think that people will actually look at this homepage as consideration, and then they go on to the evaluation, which is making a phone call or a contact form, then some emails back or a call back, and then either a proposal or something, right? That's the way people think about it. Now let me give you the shift. Here's the shift. The shift is, what you really have got is funnel entry points. Like, where are people coming in? Where are you putting your money to bring people into this funnel? And then you've got funnel touch points. You've got their attention. And what happens if they looked at your website and then they left? You just wasted your money. So you need to create ways to get their information and then follow up with them using these touch points. And then you've got engagement touch points. Engagement touch points can be things like calls or meetings, but they can also be other educational things that you're sending them. And then you've got sales and marketing automations such as automated emails, automated text, adaptive design. Adaptive design is where you change the design of a page based on where somebody is in the buying process. So if you know that this is a qualified buyer, you'll show them different information on the homepage than you would if they weren't a qualified buyer. So, so these are the kinds of things that you can do. And when you start thinking about this from, I'm putting money into my funnel entry point, and I'm putting money into my touch point or my engagement point or my, whatever these things are, and you start thinking about ways to bring people in and then hold on to them and keep them in your funnel and keep them engaged in your company, that's the paradigm shift. So here's some funnel entry points. I'm sure you guys, if you sit down and think about it, you probably think about all of these things. You probably could put together this whole list as well, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, trade shows, warm leads, cold leads, webinars, people you met at conferences, TV, magazines, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's all stuff out there that you're putting money into to pull people in. And through, like if it's a website, or if you've got a website, maybe you're putting money into SEO, maybe you're into pay-per-click, maybe you're sending out email campaigns, maybe you're just meeting people. There's all of these different ways. But once you have them, you got to remember that you have an investment there. You put money to get this person's email address. So don't let it go to waste. That thing is valuable. So what do you do? So here you go. What can you do to keep people in the funnel? When we go back and we look at the way that we had it before, it was very linear, right? It was like somebody went to my website, or you think somebody went to your website, which we'll talk about that in a second. Somebody goes to, you think somebody comes into the homepage, they click on something and they contact you, right? But that's the thing. That's not the way it goes. And a lot of times, if you look back at all this stuff, they're coming in from all over the place. Maybe they're coming into your Facebook page and chatting you. Maybe they're on a podcast, and that podcast has a get in touch with this speaker form. Maybe you sent them an email about something you can do for them. In all of these different things we've talked about so far, people don't come into your homepage, do they? They come in all over the place. They're coming in to all of these different touch points. So how about, instead of having a funnel that's super linear like we talked about in the very beginning, how about a funnel like this? How about a funnel that takes into account all the ways you're actually reaching out to people and drives them through a process that keeps them engaged point by point, step by step? Let's actually dig in to, I'm going to give you a quick lesson, and then let's actually dig into what that looks like. So here's the lesson. Draw your funnel. Think about your funnel. Redraw your funnel. So easy, right? So take what you think people are doing right now. Like, where are people coming in? If you can check your analytics for your website and see, like, where are people coming in? Are they coming in from social media? Are they coming in from the search engine? Are they coming in for your pay-per-click advertising? Are they coming in from some billboard? Are your salespeople bringing people in? Where are people coming in from? That's the first point. What are they looking at when they come in? That's your second point. What do they do after that? How do you get their information, which you may or may not be doing now? And then once you have their information, I don't mean like go to your contact form and say, like, I'm interested in buying this thing. What are ways that you can just get them to give you their email address? Once you have that email address, how do you keep them involved in what you're doing? By the way, that can be their email address or phone number, so many other things. What can you do to keep sending them things that they are interested in, that they like, where they're going to look forward to hearing from you and eventually buy from you? So as you go through and you redraw your funnel, think about each one of those things. So now let's take a look at how we've got the funnel set up for one of my companies. All right, hold on, I'm going to stop the share and pull up this. There we go. And then we're going to start the share again. Here we go. Okay, so let's dig in on this. This is the funnel for Support My Website. And by the way, we're building this tool we're building this funnel in something called Funnelytics, which enables me to check the flow of people through the entire thing and forecast how small changes at the very beginning can affect my conversion rate at the end. So I'm going to show you a few different ways that we've used this tool and this thought process and this method to improve our conversion rate at Support My Website. So first off, we've got this JHMG list. This is JH Media Group and Athens Hosting list. This is a list of all our old clients. We sent them out a survey. Say, hey, what'd you think about the thing? They respond to the survey. They complete the survey. If they don't complete it, they get automatic emails saying, don't forget to complete the survey. And even if they didn't complete it, they still get another email saying, hey, by the way, we're sending you a special. If they do complete the survey, then they get a thank you and then a promotion saying, hey, you completed the survey. Thanks so much. Take a look at the special. So either which way, they're gonna get the special offer. The special offer is a page on the website. And then once they fill out the form on the website, it's gonna take them to the calendar. The calendar is just a page that says, hey, I saw that you're interested. Here's some available days and times. When would you like to set up your meeting to talk about this problem? If they don't finish the calendar, then we send them these cart abandonment emails. They get 3 emails. If they get to this calendar and they don't finish it out, they get email 1 saying, hey, we saw that you were at the thing. Do you want to finish it? Hey, don't forget, you still haven't set up your meeting. Hey, don't forget, we're still waiting to see you. We'd love to talk to you. Once they finish setting up the calendar event, then they get taken to a form that asks them information about what it is they're trying to do, like their website, what they're, all sorts of stuff about how, let me think, what's in that thing? Who are they? What are they trying to do? How much money are they looking to spend? And this last question in the survey is really important, because if they don't have any money to spend, then why are we meeting with them? So that's really important, because then what we'll do is we'll either send them to another company that's more fitted to their needs, and we'll take an affiliate, we'll take some money for sending that over to them, or we'll put them back into a queue for a different kind of thing. If they do finish the survey and they are a good fit for us, then we'll send them some cart. If they don't finish, but they're one way or another, then we'll start sending them some cart abandonment emails. If they do finish, they go to a thank you page. The thank you page will start sending these, once they get to the thank you page, they'll start getting these auto email reminders letting them know that it's time to meet. And then we'll have a meeting with them. And after this meeting, then we'll send them over a proposal, and that'll send them, and then they can pay and go to the payment page. If they don't do it, then they get a bunch of follow-ups on that. If they do, then it goes on to another thank you page after the payment is done, where we upsell them more stuff, and then that takes them back into the funnel, back into the very beginning of the funnel. So you can see at every single step of this entire process, we're actually keeping people back in the funnel. And if they fall off on things like this third cart abandonment email, we'll drop them into some of these other funnel areas, like down here, where it's going to put them into a series of offers or into our ongoing email, promotional emails, all sorts of different things, so that it keeps them dropping back in this funnel. Because what happens is people don't make buying decisions right away a lot of times. They'll come in, they'll be interested, maybe they're interested now, maybe they're interested later, but this way we're always in front of them, and we're always giving them really good information. We're not just letting them just drop off and go away. It's always good. We always want to cater to their needs. This isn't strictly promotional. This is educational. It's informative. It's funny sometimes. It's beautifully done, and it keeps them in the process, and it keeps them in your sales funnel. So That's how you do it. That is, I'm going to close this right here. That's how you do it. And that's what you need to know. That's some of the basics, I guess, of sales funnels. You're cutting your costs by keeping the people in your funnel, and you're making more money by monetizing those people. And you're doing it by keeping them in this circular pattern. It's not always circular, but in this pattern where they keep on falling back into the top of your funnel until they make a purchase. And then after that, after they make that purchase, you have a whole separate funnel for them that moves them from being a purchaser to a loyal customer to an advocate for your company by sending them more cool stuff, more freebies, more discounts, more ways that they can use your product better and make more money or save more time with your product. And by doing that, and a lot of other things, you can run events, you can do all sorts of things. But by doing all of that, you move people from that awareness stage down to the advocacy stage, so that you bring more people in to the awareness part at the very top of the funnel. And that's it. That's the basics. I hope this was a paradigm shift for you as well. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon.